Generation 9 took us to Paldea, but if you didn't know, Paldea was set around the Iberian Peninsula. Every generation has been set around a place. Generations 1 through 4 were set around places in Japan. Generation 5, the US. Generation 6, France. Generation 7, Hawaii. Generation 8, the UK. And then Generation 9, like I just said, the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain and Portugal. Generation 10 is going to be the next game. So I decided I was going to try and find a place that would suit a Pokemon game. Quick disclaimer, this is not with Pokemon Leaks evidence as to where I think it's going to be. This is just where I think could be a good place, like where a nice Pokemon game could be played. So bear that in mind and enjoy the video. Now, there is a few continents that we haven't been to in Pokemon games. South America, Africa, Antarctica, and I'm not going to count Oceania because Hawaii is technically part of Oceania. So there are 3 continents to choose from, and I've decided to go with South America, more specifically Brazil. Now, Brazil is a big country, so it can easily fit the new mechanic in the game of like a wild area or just an open map. It's very big, so it can do that. It also has a lot of big cities that can be used as gym areas. There is also a lot of different terrain. We have the coast, we have the inland, we have the Amazon rainforest, the Amazon River. It is a nice place to set a Pokemon game. Well, I think anyway. There are a few things I'm going to talk about in this video. The layout, so it's going to be where do we start, where do we go, and then where do we end. I am then going to talk about the starters. I've picked a few animals from Brazil that I think could make good starters for the Brazil game. And what I'm going to talk about as well is some of the infrastructure in Brazil that could be used as like landmarks or parts of this story. Now, in every game, we start in a town. Now, obviously, it's where you either move to or that's where you've lived, and then you get your first Pokemon. I'm going to switch it up a bit, and I'm actually going to start in the capital of Brazil, Brasilia. Now, yeah, most games like Galar, for example, they end in the capital. But I think Brazil has better cities that we can end in than its actual capital, Brasilia. So I think Brasilia is a good place to start. We are then going to have the open area. We're going to have rainforest biomes. We are going to have coastal biomes. There's going to be a lot of places we can go to in this open area. The next place we're going to go to is going to be centered in the Amazon rainforest. So there's going to be a few towns, few places for gyms in the Amazon rainforest. Then we're going to go down the Amazon River to the coast. Now, it won't be a long journey, I think. Sort of like you get onto a boat after defeating the last place in the Amazon, and then it cutscenes you to when you get to the end. Could be more that you could add. We can always hope. But that's where I think it should go, straight to the coast. From the coast, we are then going to keep going along the coast, but then we're going to skip over Rio and go to Sao Paulo. Well, a place based on Sao Paulo. Because I think the game should end in Rio. When you hear Brazil and people ask you, think of a city in Brazil, most people will say Rio. It's one of the most iconic cities in the world, I would say. So I think having Rio as the ending place for the Brazilian Pokemon game is the best idea. I think it'll just suit it well. Now let's get on to the starters. Now we're going to get started with the water starter. And I've picked for this one the Amazonian tapir. It likes to live near running water and can swim very well. So obviously it's a good fit for the water type. Now, the Amazonian tapir is one of the oldest species found in the Amazon rainforest. So I thought, when it gets to its final evolution, it should become a water rock type. Because obviously, it's old, fossils are old, and rock type suits fossils. So I think that should be the typing of the tapir's final evolution. Next, I am going to get onto the fire starter. And for this animal, I have gone with the collared anteater. Now, the reason I've gone for this with a fire starter is based on one thing. It eats ants, and ants are bugs or insects, which are kind of the same thing, and fire type is effective against the bug type. So that is really the only reason I have for this Pokemon to be the fire starter. It's not the greatest, but it's going to have to do. Now, for the second typing on the final evolution, it's also a bit of an obscure one. I have gone with fire poison. Now, the only reason, and once again, there is only one reason I picked poison for this. It's because it has a long tongue. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird reasoning, but I thought, yeah, I really didn't have a reasoning with when I researched the page that I found. There wasn't really much to go off of, so I just kind of picked a type that could maybe go well with the anteater, and I stumbled upon poison. I think with an evolution on that, a poison type would be pretty cool. So that's really all I had to go off. So let's get on to the grass starter. For the grass starter, I have gone with a peccary, which is kind of like a pig-like animal. Now, the reason why I've gone for the peccary is because they are known to be excellent gardeners, and they are able to replant their own food. And I think, we've had farmers linked with the grass types before, like with Milo in Galar. So I think this will be a good fit for the grass starter. Now, for the second typing on the final evolution, I've gone with another rogue one. I've gone with dark type. Now, I know that we've just had a grass dark, but this is really the only thing that I could think of. There's not much to go off with this animal, so I've gone for dark type because it has dark hair. It's not the greatest, but I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be a nice grass dark type. Now, that is the starters that I have picked. Now let's go on to some of the structures that can be used for different areas. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is obviously the Amazon rainforest. I don't know why I started talking about the Amazon rainforest when I just said structures, but I was going to talk about it anyway, so it's fine. More specifically, the top. I think it'd be a good idea to maybe have a gym challenge up on top of the trees in the Amazon rainforest. I think that would be a pretty good idea. The next structure, this is actually a structure that I'm going to go for, is Christ the Redeemer. Now, obviously, I think they should make it a bit different in the Pokemon game, just because if they do anything with the Christ the Redeemer and they have something going on with it, it might seem disrespectful. I don't know. I just thought it'd be a better idea if they changed it up a bit to where it's a bit similar, but it's different. So I thought we could have a statue similar to Christ the Redeemer, but as like the final, because it's in Rio, the final place. You go up the statue, and that's where you have the final Elite Four battle. I think that is a very nice place to end off the game. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the cramped pathways found in cities in Brazil. Like, you see them videos of all the buildings together and then there's a little staircase you can go up, stuff like that. I think once again that'd make a really good gym challenge where you have to traverse it like a maze. I think it'd be pretty nice to roam about. They can make it look really nice. It'd just be a good place to go. So there are my ideas for what a Pokemon area would look like in Brazil. If you guys liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Trying to get to 5k by the end of the year. And if you had any other ideas that I could have added, leave a comment down below, as we could then make an update on the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.